Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Jocelyn Lovely Tarot. So good to see you guys here today. This reading is going to be for my Libras. If you guys resonate with the video, like, share, and subscribe. If you want any personal readings, hit my email at jocelynlovely84@gmail, okay? Alright, so we're starting off with the King of Wands. It almost seems like this is you, the very higher aspect of you, very calm, collected, very, you understand the whole picture. You understand where you want to go. You understand the facts of life. You understand it's almost as if this higher version of you sees every aspect of you, and what it does best is just observe to see what part of you needs the most help, what part of you needs to be healed, what part of you needs to be looked at and examined and forgiven, or what part of you need to go and apologize to yourself, right? Because the king's here, right? But then look, this is the Knight of Swords, the most offensive part of you. And it's dark, you can't even see it, so it could be the shadow. It could be the shadow, it could be the ego, because we're also talking about the mind, right? It's a Knight of Swords, it's fast moving, it's a messenger, it's in your face. But this character seems very defensive, right? It's almost as if there's a part of you, it's the most defensive, aggressive, lashing out part of you that is in an all-time like defense mode. That's all it really is. I don't even want to say that it's the most defensive part of you. It's the part of you that gets triggered the most. There you go. Because when you get triggered the most, that's when you become defensive. That's when you become whatever, abrasive, in fear, in state of fear, right? So it's almost as if saying that part that gets triggered the most right now is being observed by your higher self, and it's almost as if it understands. It can't even intervene. What's funny is that your higher self cannot intervene in this process because your ego is, or whatever part of you that's most triggered, it's really feeling scared. It is terrified. It is terrified, it is scared, it is just in fear state. So when a part of yourself feels like that, you tend to get frustrated, you tend to get upset, you tend to get defensive. We can tend to get, into a state of mind where you don't want to listen to anybody else, and nothing can come in. No messages can come in, no messages can come out. And the only reason I say that is because it's a Knight of Swords. It's a messenger. The whole point of the Knight of Swords is to be able to look at things from a higher perspective, right? To be able to receive messages and see where how this message will influence us to change, either for the better or to take an approach that you haven't before, right? This is what I'm saying, though. This is what I'm saying. This message that's not being received by you, by not seeing it from a higher perspective, because right now you're really triggered, is what's causing a Ten of Swords moment for you, right? You're at the Ten of Swords. You're feeling terrible. You're feeling alone. You're feeling hurt. You're feeling like no one understands you, right? And that's normal. There's nothing wrong with that. But see how even with this Ten of Swords, there's an activation going on right here? The pineal gland is activated, meaning that you understand some part of you, the most triggered part of you, still somehow is receptive to the fact that all of this process is happening for your highest good. It may not seem like that right now because your body and is struggling. You're struggling, right? Your mind it's just not feeling the best. We are talking swords as well, right? So it still understands that something is coming to an end here, right? The pieces that are coming to play here are all coming together, and it's forming like a better version of yourself that's about to come in or become a reality, because you're changing. You're changing. You're becoming a more understanding person. You're becoming a more loving person. You're becoming a person who can be very forgiving and can make and could be very sorry for the actions that the older version of yourself has made. So now that this newer version of you is coming into play, it's almost as if there's parts of you that cannot accept that because it's too much change. too much change is occurring in the body, in the mind, and so that's why the mind is going insane. That's why the mind is feeling the most pressure, and it's feeling afraid that it's gonna be too much. This change is gonna require too much from you, from some part of you, and you're acknowledging that. You got the Seven of Pentacles here. It's almost as if you feel some part of you is dying, right? And this change that will come in, or is coming in because you are dying or healing, whatever you want to call it, because this is all happening so fast, it has you wondering whether you will survive this time. I know it's a weird thing to say, but some part of you is wondering if there's room for you on this journey. Now, I feel like that's either an ego or an inner child. Some part of you is really hurt and is scared that you're going to leave it behind. And so what it's doing is it's sitting there and like causing, it's feeling like there's chaos. You see the fire and the smoke? It feels like it's in chaos. It feels like it's imprisoned, or it's going to be burned down, or it's going to be left forsaken and forgotten. That's all it pretty much is. And so I see some of you guys, right? Because you got the Knight of Pentacles. This is a logical, practical knight. It's still a messenger. It still moves forward. It's just slow moving. See the difference between the Knight of Swords, which is fast moving energy, very direct, very to the point, really speedy energy, versus the Knight of Pentacles, a slow moving energy. This dude's like walking, right? It's almost as if you started off here in the fence mode. Nothing could come in, nothing could come out, no messages could be understood. You're just in flight, fight, or freeze mode here, right? Versus you understanding that this is just part of the journey, and your higher self not being able to intervene because it knows that you just need to go through this experience, and you need to get through the experience so that you can understand that no part of you was left behind. It was just an illusion. And once you start seeing that, you can calm down, and then the higher self can bring you along, or come and merge, or into it can merge with you again, right? It can integrate with you again. So this is you over here walking away, right? Hoping that everything's going to be okay, hoping that this journey of change is going to help you and heal you and help you become a better version of yourself, because essentially you understand that that's the whole point of the game. That even the ego understands that's the whole point of the game. It's just the death process that kills it, because the ego is the one that takes the hit the most, right? It's the shadow that takes the fucking hit. And so it thinks it's gonna die. It thinks you're gonna leave it behind. It's this process, you understand. For some of you guys, it's addictions. That high was so high, and then now that you're going through withdrawal, that fucking low is so low, you want to fucking die, right? It could feel like that. You're going to be okay. It's just change. And the mind's it's trying to adapt to the change, right? So here you are, wishing to still make it out of here in one piece. And then this is the Pentacle, right? The realizations behind you that, yeah, you're going to be okay. Just relax. Let the ego do what it does best. Let it cry. Let it feel fear. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, the ego has no control. And so it has to, it's going to have to lash out, because it knows it has no control. But your higher self knows that everything's going to be okay. And it's going to keep telling your shadow that. It's going to keep telling your ego that, whether it listens to it or not, because it's really struggling right now. All right, guys, that's all I have for you, my Libras. I love you.